Well, hi, and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. Today is Wednesday, May 17th. My name is Pete Connor. I'm your show's host. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to have Buddy with us here from the Humane Society, along with a couple of his companions who will tell us about Pet Adoption Day. But first, before we get there, we're going to have an OPU update with Jared Hendricks. And so, as a reminder, as we always would like to have your input as to what you'd like to see on Owatonna Today. If you have a person that needs some recognition or an event that would need some publicity, please let us know about those things. You can reach us by calling Leanne at 390-5751 or by logging on to Owatonna Today at charter.net and let us know who you think would be deserving of such recognition. Now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Jared. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltvet.
And I'm Dr. Nick Vincelli of Horizon Eye Care.
We want you to see what you love and love how you see. We're proud sponsors of the Owatonna Today Show.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself.
Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now, I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And with me today is, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry, Pete. I was a little distracted there.
Jared Hendricks from OPU playing with his cell phone. Now, I wonder what that's all about today.
Well,
I suppose you're going to tell us.
I am. And it's funny because you see your cell phones. In fact, on my way here today, I saw a gentleman riding bike or attempting to ride bike and texting on his cell phone. And that's as difficult as it is driving. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to do that. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's illegal now.
Could I just make a butt-in comment?
Sure.
He is not riding his bicycle. He should be driving his bicycle.
You're right. Yes, you're right.
Driving a motor vehicle.
You're right. You're very true there. So
distracted driving.
So one of the things that Owatonna Public Utilities is doing here in May is kind of raising some awareness to distracted driving as well. And we're not the only ones doing this. There's a number of businesses in town. In fact, if you look through our newsletter this month, you'll see that distracted driving happens to be our highlight for the month, and safety in general. Sure. And in the middle piece is some information about the Federated Insurance Distracted Driving Campaign, and some great information in there. One of the things they talk about is the length of time it takes while you're driving 50 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour to send one text. You've driven about 100 yards, a football field, without looking at the road. Right. A lot can happen in that time. Right. It could be a deer, it could be another vehicle, it could be you swerving and not knowing it. All sorts of things can happen in that period of time that can cause a very dangerous situation. Yeah. So whether it's a cell phone, and we blame cell phones a lot, and I don't want to blame cell phones. Yeah. I think distracted driving always existed. It's just much more prevalent, and I think it's just a little bit more. But it's eating. If you're eating and being distracted from that. I remember before cell phones were popular, I saw newspapers on steering wheels. Mm-hmm. So we've always had distracted driving. It's just definitely much more common now. Sure. And I think cell phones just raise more awareness to that. And let's talk about it. Let's not ignore the situation. Let's talk about it. And, as a utility, we're concerned about distracted driving, not just because of us as individuals or our employees making it home because they're driving, but making it home because of work as well. If you're driving through town and texting and distracted, or reading something else, or eating and distracted, what could happen? Could you potentially hit a parked vehicle? Is that parked vehicle one of our utility vehicles? while we're trying to work on something? Could that injure one of our employees? So it's not just safety on the road for that person. It's safety on the road for everybody around them as well.
Sure.
And Owatonna Public Utilities does have a very safety-oriented culture. One of the things that you'll also see in our newsletter is we have gone, I think Mark said, more than 477 days without an OSHA recordable incident. And that is very, very unheard of in a utility industry. It is a very hazardous industry, but we take safety very seriously, whether it's in our office or out in the field. We take it very seriously. That's why we have policies against those that are driving a company vehicle talking on a cell phone. I believe they can use a hands-free headset, but I'd have to confirm that. But you won't see them talking on their cell phones. If they need to talk on their cell phone, they'll pull over and then they'll talk on their cell phone while they're parked.
Sure.
And that's a good habit for all of us to be in as well.
I want to ask you about communication because let's say the worker, OPU worker in the truck, in the vehicle, he's on his way, or she, as the case is, somewhere, and someone needs to tell them something. Okay, so it may not be through the. By the way, does OPU provide mobile phones to employees?
That's those that need them. Those that need them. Okay. That's really a different topic.
So if I'm in the truck, I've got the yellow helmet on. All right, and you need to tell me something. That I need to leave where I am to go somewhere else. Yep. How am I going to know that?
We do have radios in the vehicles. Okay. So we do have radios in the vehicles, as well as they all carry a radio in their belt as well. Right. So that keeps them in communication. We utilize that not just from going from this location to this location, but here's an example. Electricity obviously is very potentially hazardous. And if they're doing some work on the lines, they need to know if this step has been done before they can do this step. So that radio provides that communication as well. Then.
So let's talk about the rules, if you will, the policy with respect to the radio. Because, in a way, the radio is not a lot different than the mobile phone in terms of what it's there for.
There have been a number of studies, and I didn't come prepared to quote one of those studies, but there have been a number of studies that the differences between radios and cell phones, because that's been a discussion as well. You see truck drivers have radios, and oftentimes fleet vehicles like Owatonna Public Utilities have radios. And what they have found is the difference in communication type is less distracting. It's more just informational. It's not full conversations, and you're not as engaged with the. If you're talking on your phone, you're like this, and you can't move as well. Right. But if you talk on a radio, it's not as hindering to the driving. Right. I don't have the policy in front of me right now to know if it's prohibited or not, but it is, again, radios are used for those safety things, so that is a needed communication, and there have been studies to show that it's not as distracting, not like talking on a cell phone.
And so one can assume, and I think because you have such a fine recordable record, non-recordable record as it is, that in safety meetings and such, these are the kinds of things that are covered.
Absolutely.
As well as let's not go up and get ourselves electrocuted, guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's that would be prime, but it seems as if the sort of the almost second level things like using a phone or a radio can get us into more trouble than doing something unfortunate with high-powered.
Right. And interesting that you brought up safety meetings, because we do have all-company safety meetings, and not only do we talk about potential work hazards, we frequently talk about things that happen at home. Our safety coordinator has talked a number of times about using chainsaws, proper use of ladders. We remember these things at work because we have policies around them. There's OSHA to help remind us these things, but what are we doing at home? And part of that safety culture for Owatonna Public Utilities isn't just leave it at the door when you leave work, but it's take it home with you as well. Sure. Making sure that you're not standing on the top rung of the ladder where you're not supposed to be. Making sure that you get down from the ladder and move it instead of leaning way over to the side.
Exactly.
And different things like that to make sure that it sticks with you day in and day out, whether you're at work or at home.
A lost time accident suffered at home is a lost time accident anyway.
Absolutely.
And we don't have you at work
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter if it happened because of work
Absolutely.
or because of doing something ridiculous, non-thinking.
Right.
Putting on the other hat or no hat at all at home. We
So-
still aren't here. We
Yep.
now have to figure out how to deal with that.
So,
You know, we talk about the distracted driving, and we talk about and communication is still vitally important. One might assume that a truck is, if there's an emergency, that the driver is going to pull off, get himself reconnected after hearing the message, whether it be on phone or on radio, and do the talking while he's parked off of the roadway.
if, like I said, if it is on a cell phone, you will see them, they will pull over to use the cell phone.
Yeah.
They will not be utilizing the cell phone. If it's the radio, you will likely see them use the radio while they're driving. But again, different types of communications there.
The bottom line is that OPU is vitally concerned about distracted driving.
Absolutely.
Not only for its own people. How many, by the way?
We
employees
have,
about?
I think, about 55 to 56 employees right now.
Not only for 55 or 56 employees, but for the greater
Absolutely.
Owatonna community.
And not just Owatonna. Anybody in Owatonna can travel outside of the area. We want people to be safe no matter where they're at. We want them to make it where they're going, and we want everybody else to make it home that night as well.
Right. You have to tell. Could I see the?
Absolutely.
You know, I just wanted to refresh this thing. I'm really impressed with this piece.
Well, thank you.
I don't know if you've had anything to do with the creation of it, but you know that is a very nice piece. I think it gives everybody a great opportunity. I mean, the other one was not bad either, but this is a polished version, and it gives us some in-depth information about what's going on down it. And in this case, here's the article about distracted driving, and about safety generally speaking. So I really need to just pump that a little bit to. If people are getting their mailing, and another one, throw it away, not a bad piece to take a few minutes to take a.
Well, thank you, Pete. And I can't take credit for the change myself. So, although I'm part of the committee, that was not myself that made the change. But we have had a number of great responses to it, and we're getting it to more residents of Owatonna to make sure that we're getting those safety messages out, those conservation messages out that affect the community in whole.
Right. Not a bad thing for us to cover today, and at all. Safety generally, and certainly specific safety to employee communications. And thank you for bringing that to us. Some things that I didn't expect we were going to talk about. I'm glad we did.
We like to bring something different every time.
Yeah, you did. And of course, your opening was just perfect. It was just perfect. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Pete, for having me.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Okay, Jared. Great. Thank you for being here today as well. We're going to take a pause, and then we'll be back with Pat Jorgensen, Connie Elmore, and my friend, going to be my new friend, Buddy, to talk about Pet Adoption Day. So please stay with us. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Hi, Brad here from Owatonna Senior Place. Our goal at Senior Place is to involve, enrich, and empower adults 50 years of age or better to live as independently as possible in our communities. We do this by promoting wellness through recreational, educational, and social opportunities, as well as being a referral source for services available within our area. Activities and programming at our center emphasize creating and maintaining independence in all phases of life. Come see what Senior Place has to offer. Live full, live well, and live long.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Betsy Linger from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
At Triumph Graphics, we think beyond ink. That's why you should make us your source for creative concept, design, print, mail, and web. Check us out today at triumphgraphics.com.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and welcome to Buddy and to Pat Jorgensen and Connie Elmore from the Steele County Humane Society. Welcome all.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
Let's find out a little bit about Buddy, and let's find out a little bit about yourselves.
Well,
Connie.
Buddy is a wonderful little 1.5-year-old Shih Tzu. He's about 15 pounds. He's absolutely beautiful. His coloring, he's this kind of brindle color, and he's just a little honey. He's a very good-natured dog. Does well with kids and people of all ages. He hadn't had a lot of experience with other dogs before he came to us, but seems to be doing well with other dogs and does well with cats, and likes going on walks and enjoys car rides. And he's just really a nice little fella. He is a dog that requires grooming because he is a non-shedding dog. Non-shedding dogs are very desirable, like for people that have allergies and people that just don't want to deal with, extra hair in the house. But then along with that, is the grooming factor. You do either have to groom yourself or take them to a groomer about every, 6 to 8 weeks. Sure. So that they look beautiful like he does now.
Yeah, very much. He is a very beautiful dog. And why do you have him?
Why?
Why?
His past owners, she was having some mobility issues and just kind of felt that it was a little unsafe. They loved him a lot, and I like I said, I think he's just a very sweet boy, and they loved him, but just thought it was kind of an accident that could happen, and so they just felt it was better to when he was still young like this to be able to get him into a home that was better suited.
Right. So you now, being that you're obviously a caregiver of pets, but you've been doing it for some time.
Yes, I actually have been fostering for over 25 years, which is a long time, and we've absolutely loved it, our entire family, dogs and cats. And I was on the board for over 20 years. And I've just kind of recently stepped off the board as of January because I've got quite a few other commitments right now and just didn't feel I could do as much justice to being on the board as what I would have liked.
Sure.
Yeah.
So your profile will say that you're going to have an adopted pet, probably always. All the time.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we have 3 dogs of our own right now that have been adopted and 1 cat. So.
Sure. Yeah, very well. Good for you, I guess, and it's obviously good for the pets as well.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. Right. Yeah, we really enjoy, the companionship of animals.
Yeah. Pat, similar story?
Yeah, I've been a foster home for a number of years, 20-some years, I guess, and I mostly do the cats. And it kind of just fits better. I don't want to go out in the winter walking dogs and stuff. So cats work for me. I got 7 at my house right now. Kitty season is upon us. Kittens are coming up. We're very, very, very short of foster homes that will take the cats or kittens. Even if, you could foster for the summer for kittens, usually they get adopted pretty fast. But other than that, I'm just doing the cat litter box thing.
Are the cats that you receive like Buddy, that someone wanted to get a better home or a different home for the cat, or do you get cats coming like off the street, feral cats, things of that nature?
Well, they're not always feral, but sometimes there'll be somebody finds a litter of kittens and a mother, and a lot of times somebody will find a litter of kittens that will be born, which is happening already, and they'll turn them in without the mothers, so then you end up with bottle feeding and so on and so forth. And sometimes we tell them, if you find really, really young kittens, to maybe just wait and see if we can't get the mother with the kittens. And so many times people think that a cat can survive on its own. So if we're done with it, we just open the door and let it go out. And it's been in a home. It's sometimes declawed, totally dependent, and now they're out and about trying to survive. And they show up on people's backyards and so on and so forth, and they turn them in. And sometimes, again, too, it's just a matter of somebody that no longer can have them. They got to go from a house to an apartment and don't allow pets, and so now they need to find a home.
You both use the term turn them in. And so if I were one who wanted to turn in my pet, how would I do that?
You go and you surrender them. You have to call the office and say you have a cat you want to surrender, or a dog.
The office.
The office is out at the incubator. Now we do have a 451-4512 number you can call. We have a person that answers the phone from 9 till 1, and you have to go through them, and they would be taken to the vet, turned into the vet to be fully vetted before they go to a foster home. And our problem right now is that we're turning away because we don't have the foster homes to take these. And like I said, kitten season is upon us, and there are going to be young kittens found that need to be brought in soon. So,
is the reality that we're not going to take care of everyone that becomes available? It's just
we're dependent on how many foster homes we have.
Foster homes. We can't overload the foster homes with too many, because then you create a problem there too. And so sometimes we just have to say, well, can you hold on to them for a while till we can do something?
Well,
give them the option of maybe trying another shelter or rescue in the area. They give them some options to do if we're full. But I kind of think everything is full.
How much cooperation with other humane societies?
There's a pretty good cooperation amongst us all. We kind of call. There's a southern Minnesota, I think, rescue shelter area that has numbers and so on. So
very well. Let's talk about the upcoming golf tournament.
Yes, that is. It's for the Paws Golf Tournament, and it is this Saturday, May 20th at Brooktree. 12 o'clock noon, shotgun start. And it's $200 per four-person team, and that includes a golf cart. And it's hosted by Reggie's. Reggie's has been really good to the Humane Society, and they've have done different things before, and they really take the helm with this, and they just really organize it, and they organize it very nicely. So you can either sign up at Reggie's, or you can give them a call, or you can print off the registration form, which is on our Facebook page, and then you can mail that down to Reggie's at 220 North Cedar. And their phone number, if you'd like to, if you have any questions, it's at 413-6000 if you have any questions. And then after the tournament, there's a silent auction down at Reggie's along with a beer bash. And so if you if you're not a golfer, but you'd still like to, somehow donate, or you can donate to the silent auction, or you can come down and bid on the items. And it's just a fun time afterwards. So just encourage you to check that out and see if there's some way that a person could be involved.
Excellent. Pat, warm weather's coming. There's some precautions that we should be aware of when for pet owners.
Yes. It's starting to get hot out now. Sunday, it was close to, 82 or something like that. And a car parked in a parking lot can turn up to 138 degrees in a matter of minutes. And so you need to, if it's hot weather, if you're going to stop any place for any length of time, leave your dog at home. If people see a dog in distress, police can be called. You could end up with a broken window. It's just better for your dog. You could end up with a dead dog in a matter of minutes. So, and I wanted to talk also about the fact that we are manning the Cashwise food wagon Memorial Weekend, Friday and Saturday. So stop in and have a burger or a brat. We'll be selling them like hotcakes. And
you sell brats by hotcakes. That's good.
And so it's always a good fundraiser for us, and we get good response to it.
Good.
So,
well, I hope everybody.
And we'll be down hopefully at the farmers market in June sometime. We'll have a table down there with some stuff, and that'll be good. So
good. Well, Buddy, good to have you here. And Pat, I suppose you get attached maybe when someone wants Buddy, you get a little separation anxiety that comes with that.
You know, we've been raising kids all these years too, so sometimes there's tears, but there's always another animal that is needing our help. So, you know, you very quickly just focus on the next animal coming in.
Good.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always hear. Well, I couldn't foster because I couldn't give them up. Well, you have to go in with the frame of mind, I find a home for this one, and you're an integral part of finding that home and interviewing people. And there's 3 more waiting for your help. So you've got to go into it with that frame of mind of what you're doing.
Yeah,
but it's a rewarding experience.
I have to say, too, that Reggie is Ron's dog.
Yes.
So,
Black Lab
Reggie,
dog, yeah.
Yeah, very well. So good. Well, it's good to have you here. Good to have you, Buddy, with us and to tell about you and about your upcoming events, ladies, and best wishes.
Yes.
And we'll have you back on, I'm sure, down the line. So please accept our thanks for that. And please accept our thanks for you being here today. And we are going to get my sheet here. We're going to take now a few words from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. We have some community announcements for you at this time. Effective immediately, Allina Health has implemented restricted visitor guidelines to protect all patients, visitors, volunteers, and staff due to the current measles outbreak. Children under the age of 5 are asked not to visit the hospital unless seeking medical care. And all children ages 10 and under must wear a mask while in hospital. And anyone with a cough or sore throat should wear a mask while in hospital. Saturday, May 20th, the Recycling Collection Day, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Retrofit Companies on Hoffman Drive. Bring all of your recyclables and appliances, batteries, and the like down there, and they will take care of them for you in fine fashion. Steele County Historical Society will be hosting a vintage and perennial plant sale on Saturday, May 20th at the Village of Yesteryear Carriage House. The sale will be held from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. SCHS is accepting donations of vintage items and perennials for the sale. Accepted items are most vintage items such as antiques, dinnerware, furniture, and more, but not clothing, books, magazines, or record albums. Call the SCHS at 507-451-1420 for further information. And finally, a free event, Unplug and Play, a party at the park, Saturday, May 20th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Manthe. Bring the kids. It's for Kids to Park Day, and we're celebrating with a party in the park. Free activities at Manthe, some food as well, food items for sale. And it should be a good time for all. And that will take care of our announcements for today. Please stay tuned for the show on Friday when we will have Justin Ray, the new chaplain at Homestead Hospice House, and Amanda Gislason, who has been named the OEA Teacher of the Year. Thanks for being with us today. Be well, and I hope to see you back here on Friday.